We could all use some group therapy right now ahead of a just riveting March Madness ahead. And who better to talk to than 2/3 of the Can't Read, Can't Write podcast? This one's going to be a hoot and a half. Let's go.
Are Locked On Spartans, your daily podcast on the Michigan State Spartans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Spartan friends, Spartan family, Locked On Spartans listeners, thank you so much for joining us here today on another episode of Locked On Spartans, your team every single day. That's right. I am thrilled to be joined by Alex Plum, Mike Jones. That is 2/3 of the Can't Read, Can't Write podcast. The last time we've had these strapping gentlemen on this show was ahead of the football season, because for football, that's the most anxiety-inducing moment of the year before the season starts. And boy, how did G. Willikers, gentlemen, a lot of what we said about what we were worried about of the season
came true.
Turned out really true, unfortunately. We were unfortunately really correct with a lot of things we were worried about. Awesome. Great. And for basketball season, okay, the preseason, you have some anxiety, but it's a long season. You learn about yourself. The most anxiety-inducing time of the year is March Madness, so we had to rally back together, get the band back together, and just either comfort each other for the next half hour or dig an even further hole of emotional despair in the next half hour. Before we do any of this, guys, how are you doing, by the way? Are we, Alex, we okay over there?
We're great. This is great. Probably going to be burping a little bit from this Modelo, but otherwise, yeah.
That's fantastic. That's good.
My level best.
That's good. Mike,
Sheehan,
are we hanging in there?
I'm contemplating that lovely intro music you have. That poor woman who had to sit in a studio recording team after team after team after team.
Conferences too. Yeah.
Oh no,
football.
It gets worse.
We have a fantasy football show. Oh, yeah, we have like an HBCU show. There's a Big Ten show. Like, this woman must have been in the lab for 15 straight days, barking out every single Locked On show. So I don't know if she can speak anymore. Yeah. She pops. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
But yeah, doing well.
Hey, that's good.
I think anytime you punch a card and you're going dancing,
that's
great, right? And I've been great for 25 years. So
wow. I have a question though. We haven't gotten to 20 wins yet. So really, have we actually punched that card? I mean, I'm 1/3, the 1/3 of our podcast who is still just a little bit scared.
Idiot.
You know what? No. That's a good place of where to start this. We're going to start just like the death scenario here. The worst case scenario heading into the tournament. This is where we're going to start. What would have to happen in the Big Ten tournament for Michigan State to miss out? Would it Izzo would have to start like 5 hookers in the game, I think. Like,
or
it
just pure
a scandal that defies. Oh, we're rocking and rolling here. Okay, and just him, right? Like no
just him.
Other starters.
That's right. Just him.
Just him.
That might do the trick. Lose like 96-4 against Iowa.
That's right.
It might get the committee arching an eyebrow, being like, I don't know if these guys are it.
I mean, I don't know that you could have more of an epic collapse against Iowa than we've already had. So, I don't see the downside here. What could possibly happen against Iowa that's any more embarrassing than has?
I wish you hadn't said that out loud. But no, I think you're probably right. You're probably right. Yeah.
The most damaging part of that Iowa game wasn't just maybe MSU was like off of a seed line, or at the time we thought that it cost us a double bye, something crazy like that. But now, and this falls right into the theme of this episode, is this whole March, we're not going to be able to relax until MSU is either up 35 points with 20 seconds to go, or 5 minutes after the clock hits 0. Is this the best time of the year for you guys, or is this the worst time of year for you guys as Michigan State fans? Mike, if you want to spit on this first, the floor is all yours. I'm going to let Alex stew on this one for a minute.
I mean, I like the routine of March, right? I like that, you have a lovely 4 days to just celebrate basketball. But truthfully,
sure.
No, It is terrible. And I tend to be so anxious about the first game because Izzo's record on the second game is so great. But then it gets in my head that you have to regress to the mean. And so obviously Izzo can't sustain this trend. Like, I know it's a miserable time. It's a miserable time.
Well, Middle Tennessee State's not going dancing this year, so we're fine on that score.
Suck it. That's right.
Suck right it. There. We're fine there. I would say this is my favorite time in the season because we don't play until Thursday. And so that's nice because nothing bad can happen between now and Thursday. I have 4
They practice,
days.
Alex.
It's so sick.
Do you know what you could do on this pocket? We jinx things on the daily here. Like now it's going to come out of practice like, oh, Tyson Walker and AJ Hogarth ran into each other running a set and their knees collided. And
both
they didn't just hear their kneecaps exploded into dust. Both of them simultaneously. So
some corners of Twitter would say that's free Jaden Akins time, though, and they'd be very happy.
Listen, and they wouldn't be wrong.
Yeah.
I've been saying Tyson and AJ have to play together or they can't play at all, right? So it's not just one, it's both or neither. So in that case, like your hypothetical is not the worst in the world.
Does Jaden Akins need to touch the ball more? Let's just get into that right now. See, we're already all over the place, and this is why I love talking to you guys. So, you are nodding your head so hard that I think you're going to break a vertebrae. Does Akins need more of the ball? Because I'm in the camp that MSU has just had their 4th game in a row where they've scored 80-plus points.
Yeah,
seems to me like things are working okay. Tyson Walker, do we want to take the ball out of his hands? He's shooting 60% last 4 games. But Mr. Plum,
no, Jaden Akins is insane right now. I wouldn't want to guard the guy, right? Like if there's someone right now that is just hotter than hot. I very surreptitiously, you can tell, pulled up some of the statistics because he's insane. He's tripled the number of minutes he's putting in game, or over more than doubled rather the number of minutes he's played in a game. Field goal percentage is up to 42% over just under 39 last season, 44.5% from 3, and nearly 80% from the free throw line, which any avid listener of our podcast knows is the only thing I care about.
Perfect. Love it.
His defense is round though. And that's part of the thing with him is you've seen this amazing growth in terms of his scoring percentage on the offensive side of the ball, but he hustles back and he's formidable on defense, grabbing offensive boards and he's boxing guys out. So there's something about Jaden Akins in terms of the growth game over game. And that's exactly what you see in a developing player under Tom Izzo, especially in the guard position. So Jaden's my guy and Spartan Dog.
Wow, that was well said. That was like a prepared statement almost. That was exquisite and a big word too you threw in there. I don't even know how to repeat that word that you said. What
Spartan Dog.
Yeah, that was sort of that's right. Yeah. Mike, where are you in the Jaden Akins thing? Do you need to see him with the ball more, or are you just fine with the offense the way it is?
I mean, his non at the rim 2 percentage is not anything that you're going to love. I think the unfortunate thing for Jaden Akins is that the reality is that this team had to bake its offensive identity without him. Being injured in the preseason just meant that we've seen more of the same thing that we had with Jaden Akins last year. He's just executing at an elite level. And while I look forward to more Jaden Akins in the future, he's 71% from behind the arc in the last 3 games. I don't feel the need to mess with that. It's working.
That's right.
So
it sounds like it.
Everyone's cooking. Everyone's cooking.
It's amazing.
It's unnatural. I don't care.
But this is gonna start the next segment on a great note because I want to talk about the craziest things you guys have thought or said to yourselves in March, because March is the time for delirium, delusion, irrationality. And that point that you just said is where I want to start next segment, but I'm so sorry. I got to kick both you beautiful gentlemen off because I got to talk to people's ear off about Built Bar. That's right, gang. As March rolls around the corner, you want a protein bar that is going to get you going through the day, whether it's, watching basketball or day at the office, doing a workout, whatever it is. Built Bar is going to take care of you in 3 ways. 1, this stuff tastes better than a candy bar. Find coconut churro, double chocolate brownie, peanut butter brownie. All these flavors are delightful. Also, reason number 2, they take care of you. They're going to feel good on the body. Okay, most of these Built Bars, just 130 calories, just 4 grams of sugar, but a whopping 17 grams of protein. That's right. You're going to feel powerful, but you're not going to feel weighed down. You're not going to feel jittery. You are going to feel refreshed and ready to roll. Gang, the third way they take care of you is just by making it easy. Okay, Built.com. How easy is that? The old interwebs. Or, hey, if you're at Sam's Club or Walmart, go to the pharmacy section, get yourself a 4-bar box of Built Bars. Any way you slice it, any way you find it, you are going to love these protein bars. Go to Built.com to get your Built Bars. And let's get the one and only Mike Jones and the other one and only Alex Plum of the Can't Read, Can't Write podcast back in the mix. I belong in an insane asylum when March rolls around for the things that I do and the things that I say. On Saturday during the game, as MSU is once again just cutting the nets with their 3-point ball, I said something that was just something that a normal person wouldn't say. That was a 4th straight game in a row where MSU has shot the ball above 47% from 3. 3 of those games they've shot above 50%. Just like you said, Mike, they are shooting the lights out lately. You got 3 guys that are shooting about 50% in the last 4 games, and Joey Hauser, Jaden Akins, Tyson Walker. What I said on Saturday to my buddy at the bar, and he kind of agreed with me too, so it's 2 nuts in the same shell, is that, like, I wouldn't mind this. Oh, God, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. I wouldn't mind seeing Michigan State open up the Big Ten tournament with, like, a 3 of 21 performance from 3. You know, just because this number isn't going to be this high forever, right? Like, they can't possibly shoot this good forever. I don't want the stat correction to come in the first round of the tournament against, like, Florida Atlantic. And, like, that is the dumbest thing I could possibly say. But if I say that in February, I don't believe it. But since I'm saying it in March, like, have I just talked myself into that? Like, I'm so worried about everything in this month. I'm just...
Well, back to my earlier point, you know, if we do shoot 3 for 21 from 3, we're not going to make the tournament. So I don't know. I don't really know. So you don't have to worry about. You won't have to worry about the tournament being where that stat.
You're out of control. Sheehan normally plays the unhinged one.
No, that's. I guess that is the crazy take, though. Is that, like, maybe MSU just isn't in the tournament? Is that the craziest thing that you could come up with?
It's a bit. Yeah, okay. This is him. It's either a bit or he's emotionally guarding himself in an unhealthy way.
But that's not unfair.
I think that's healthy, actually. I think it's healthy because I do that a lot, and I don't want to admit that that's unhealthy. Yeah. I'm
gonna have to find. I'm gonna send you a BetterHelp link later on, Alex. You can find a licensed professional to help you with this. We're making the tournament. I don't think that's. I don't know. Like, the second that they stop shooting in the realm of this, like 35% plus. Like, let's say it's an off night, but still not bad, right? But when we get into that realm is when I think we are doomed. And so if it happens in the Big Ten tournament, I think the magic has just gone out of the sails then. So I need this gravy train to keep running.
Okay.
I mean, because where else are they going to get production from? The maddening thing about the team has been long to you. Like, that's not productive. You
don't think? Yeah.
Like, AJ has done better off the pick and roll, but
yeah.
So that's been good, but it is unlikely he's going to be able to put up sustained performances that will float us. Like, this team has to shoot the lights out of the 3. The game we lost to Illinois where we didn't take a 3-pointer, I was like, oh, that's the kryptonite for this team. Just run them off the line.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we can't hurt you another way. And so that's what scares me about this team is more that if they don't have another way to find a way to win. But then Joey and Tyson started taking shots from the logo and it doesn't matter anymore. So I don't know.
Right. Correct. Okay. I think that helped. I don't know. Maybe that did. No, have we helped each other yet so far to this point? We're at the halfway point. Does anyone feel better about March than we did before we hit the record button?
I do, because I don't think any of these things are particularly realistic. I think the biggest thing we should be afraid of is the officials. I mean,
let's have a dialogue.
We just saw what happens when you piss off Kelly Pfeiffer. Fran McCaffrey tried to have a little stare off with old Kel at the Michigan State game. That came back to bite him in the ass. So it was not good. And it was not good. And now I was paying the price, or we're going to pay the price because we have to see them on Thursday. So, and Kelly's going to be refereeing that game because whoever assigns officials in the Big Ten is an absolute sadomasochist.
And just the schedule, 6 straight road games on the weekend in Big Ten play for Michigan State. It was silly. It was great. It was like the Jigsaw killer made the schedule for Michigan State this year, and all fantastic job enough to keep us off the double bye, but those Huskers got us through. So.
And there's big questions there. I mean, we've been talking about the officials more this season than I feel like we generally have, and I'll say that the guys broke me down because I have been relentless and steadfast in my defense of the officials, and this season I've lost my ability to be rational or clear-eyed because.
Oh, shoot.
You've got John Higgins traveling the country on red-eye flights, refereeing within 6 hours of one game ending. You've got Kelly Pfeiffer in court. We see Kelly Pfeiffer and Courtney Green and Larry Scarato back to back to back, like every week. So it doesn't end. I don't know. It's wild. And then I don't know if you guys saw this Old Dominion Troy game in the Sun Belt.
I missed this one.
Women's basketball under 5 seconds. Under 5 seconds, and Old Dominion put 6 girls on the court, and then they grab one girl and pull her off. The officials don't know, and then they go on to win the game with the 4 seconds left. And the conference, all they can say is,
"Whoops,
sorry, yeah, we did that one wrong."
It'd be like that sometimes. Yeah. That's a good late game strategy. I would like to see Tom Izzo just implement that. Just give that a try. I was going to say what's the worst that happens, but I guess it would be a tech. You know what? I hate to bring this game up again.
And two shots. Attacking 2 shots and possession, which you're down 3. That's or they were down 2 at that point, I think. That's the game, right? So
yeah. Give it a shot. Okay, so I hate to bring the conversation back to this game, the Iowa game, and I swear mentally I'm over it, but there's still things you could pick apart from that game. Here's one thing that I'm interested in going into March, and just like the mindset of a coach late in the games is, we got this comment a few times. It was, well, hey, at least Izzo knows to foul when he's up 3 late in the game. It's like, are you new here? I don't think this man is going to change what he does at the end of game. Mike, do you think that Izzo still doesn't foul up 3 in a late game situation in March, or are you in the camp that he has learned from his mistakes in Iowa City and will grow?
I feel bad Greg isn't here because we were discussing this on our pod, and he said, well, Michael, you'll remember that Izzo did foul up 3 against Wisconsin. And he's like, the way I remember it is I wrote it in blood on my wall because Izzo did foul earlier this year even.
Well, excuse me then. Excuse me. Yeah. Okay.
No, but but you're right. He doesn't and that's right. And he would say he doesn't, though he has. And so, but like we could get way into the weeds on this, but late game situations, he's running his small ball lineup out there.
Yeah.
You'll note on his small ball lineup, 2 of the dudes on that lineup have missed substantial time this year. And you see time and time again, they are not switching. And I don't understand. It should be the easiest thing, switch 5, but that's for all the clamoring that there has been for small ball lineup. It is the lineup that has had the least opportunity to actually play together. And so I think that's part of what some of this late game shenanigans have been, is that he's putting his free throw shooters out there, but they haven't played together very much. So, Tom's got to figure that out. Monty's not a terrible free throw shooter.
Serviceable. Yeah, especially for a big man, and when he makes the shot, it really looks pretty. Yeah, it's right. We're not shooting for gold here.
It's like saying it's gourmet for a McDonald's. Mady Sissoko is a great free throw shooter for a big. It's very pretty, aesthetically pretty.
And when he makes it, it looks amazing, which there's something to be said about that. Now, when he misses, it looks like, oh yeah, he's a center. But when he makes it, it's like, oh, Joel Embiid on the line for Michigan State right now. Oh, sick, cool. This is amazing.
But I don't think the I don't know what to make of Tom. Like Tom is who he is. And,
oh no.
And honestly, we all do it, right? We all complain about Tom, but
the Hall of Fame coach, we rip him apart all the time. It's ridiculous.
25th year.
Yeah, right.
I saw there was a graphic of teams who have like streaks, right? And I think 6th on the list, on far in the distance with 7 consecutive made tournaments, was Michigan. That streak's ending for them. Like, I mean, sometimes you got to really put it. I'm not saying he's immune from criticism, but like stuff like, do you foul or not? Tom's like, that's a baked in. All right, Tom, you are who you are, man.
He is who he is at that point, right? Yeah. It's like a loved family member that has just a few quirks, which you wish they were different, but it's who they are deep down inside. So what, they get wasted every Thanksgiving and talk politics before the turkey's even out of the oven. Like, it is who they are, and you love them for it deep down inside at the end of the day. So it drives you crazy one day a year, 2 days a year, but
Sheehan, can we flip this? What are you most worried about?
Yeah.
Why do you think? Like, let's start with this. I'm stealing the show. Do you think this team can make a Final Four? Not will, probable, but do you think they are capable of it?
Yes.
Okay, so I think the problem is that when you have a team that you're like, I'm just happy to be here, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is when you think you could do something, that's when it hurts, right? And that's why often this is a painful time of year. So what are you most worried about? Like, emotionally, truly, why would you be so sad?
Honestly, it is just the numbers thing of the 3-point shooting cannot be this good for this long. And like, it really is just back to that conversation. And if it's not working, like, AJ's good at attacking the rim. You know, he had 23 points and only 6 of those came off 3-pointers. You know, he got to the free throw line a lot. He's good slashing. Beyond that, though, I don't know who else is like getting easy too. Malik Hall every 3rd game can do that. I don't trust Mady Sissoko necessarily to do it, but it's just like if we have a market correction on 3-point shooting at the wrong time, I'm going to be a despondent human being whenever that happens. My really deep fear is that it happens that first round and they play on Thursday, because that is my wife's birthday, and that it will ruin the day completely. Like, I won't be an adult about it. I won't be mature. I won't say, oh, it's just a game we got next year. Like, no, I will be a shadow of a person for the next week minimum, because I do believe that this team is good. Now, I'm not going to predict them that they do go to Final Four, but I could see it.
There's a path.
Well, there's a path, and think about, I mean, if we play like we played against Kentucky and Villanova and nearly beating Gonzaga and Oregon, I mean, there was this spell in the beginning of the season. We were like, we're going to win the national championship.
Oh, we're going to Houston. Book the flights.
What's going on?
This team is good. What? Yeah.
Well, they're not, but they can be. I mean, that's it. Like, they're not consistently, but they can be. And this is the regression to the mean question, but they have it. I mean, there's something there. So and this is the great thing about, and this is why March is my favorite month. Hope springs eternal with this team. Even when they are down by godforsaken numbers of points at half, they just come back and win, and it's fine, and everyone's fine. And then at the same time, they can choke on 10, 12 points with a minute left and just die. So I don't know. This team is incapable of living up to expectation, which is why I love them and they're delicious to watch.
I have fallen victim to the romance of in the last 5 games, they have been incredible the entire game except for a collective 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, that collective 5 minutes is a pretty important 5 minutes. The last 4 of the Michigan game, okay, they completely fell apart there. And then the last 1 minute against Iowa. Like, those are incredibly important 5 minutes that we can't completely throw out. But, like, every other minute in the last 5 games, they look the part.
The first half of the Nebraska game.
Yeah.
The fighting Hoibergs put it to us. That
fighting Hoiberg.
People forget because the second half was so amazing, but I do believe
I don't have a counter for that. Yeah,
said that is the worst he's ever played. I mean, they just couldn't shoot that first half, or whatever.
They were and like I could talk myself into they got great open looks, and they were finding the open guy. Like I become a sick person in March, man. Like I could talk myself into anything. I might as well just be a citizen of Jonestown, and the Kool-Aid is MSU's 3-point shooting, and I'm just here going for it. But I know that could be my demise here. Not to make an incredibly dark analogy, but what else am I going to do on a group therapy show with can't read, can't write?
That's fair.
I want to hammer on this really quick, or maybe not really quick at all. We could be the judge of that here in a little bit. But there's a lot of chatter from outside fan bases saying that MSU is backed into this double bye, that they had to benefit from other teams losing on the final day of the regular season to get this number 4 seed. And in part, they're upset that MSU didn't play all 20 of their conference games because, that home game against Minnesota, a game they would have been favored by 17.5 points in, didn't get played. Either of you have anything to say about that? Any hot takes? I see a smirk from Mr. Mike Jones down there. Alex, this seems right in your wheelhouse as well. So
no, give it to Jones because this doesn't have an explicit rating and I'm unable to contain myself.
We can give that a try then. But Mike, take this away.
If anyone complains about the lack of games MSU played, you are doo-doo caca.
Or woke up from like a slumber. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you either have been living under a rock or you are just devoid of empathy at every possible turn. I also don't buy the backing into it. Like, we won the games we won. Other teams won the games they won or lost the games they lost. Like, this isn't complicated. You know what it is the Big Ten was tight and we finished before a bunch of other people. Like, that's all it is. And you know what? Like, honestly, the Minnesota game might have helped us because it was an opportunity to pad the hell out of our efficiency statistics.
Yeah.
So that could have moved the needle a bit on a seed line, not a ton. Because Minnesota wasn't gonna get us into the tournament, but we were already in the tournament. Right. You want to kick the crap out of somebody. You want to win in Ken Palm time, and so I don't know. Just idiots. I want more basketball. I don't like the double bye. I want more basketball.
Oh, wow. That's a take we invite on the show here, that we are staunchly against having the double bye. If it was up to you, would you rather start the tournament on a Friday or would you rather MSU start this Wednesday against Minnesota, let's say? If it was up to you.
Oh, no. I'm not insane. I would rather have the double bye than have to play the entire tournament. But if you could give me one more game, that'd be great.
Okay. Understandable. No, my favorite part of the whole backing in thing is we're just going to throw out the window that MSU had to face number 1 seed Purdue twice this season. They had to face number 3 seed Indiana twice this season. They had to face number 5 seed Iowa twice this season. And then, the doormat of the Big Ten, a team that was literally worse at the time when the game was supposed to happen, literally worse than Buffalo, worse than Brown. They didn't get to play that cupcake team. So I think that there was just some... is dissonance the right word here between I think people couldn't comprehend that MSU played on Saturday and everyone else played on Sunday. And that was just their last regular season game for state on Saturday. So of course we were rooting for teams to lose on Sunday because that was the schedule. It's when teams played. I don't know. That was a fascinating dialogue on the interwebs. That's all. I find things funny. I find things funny. That's all.
The other thing, Matt, is but we're Ken Palm 6 on strength of schedule. In the nation, the other top teams in the Big Ten who have had a hard schedule are the crap Big Ten teams because they didn't have to play themselves.
Correct. So, you're right.
So, sixth hardest schedule in the nation, first in opposing offense efficiency. It's been brutal. Plum, I'm sorry.
And no. I mean, you're co-sign everything you said, and I would point to because some of the loudest proponents of this absurd backing in theory are Michigan folks. Michigan crapped the bed against Illinois and then Indiana, 2 eminently winnable games for them, games in which they led by significant margins at significant points in the game, and they fell apart. why is this our problem? A win over Minnesota for us 2 weeks ago would have given us a 3 seed. If all things else being equal, we'd be a solid 3 seed right now in this tournament. Not in the NCAA, but I just mean
sure,
the Big Ten
right? Yeah.
So I fail to see. Unless folks honestly think we would have lost to Minnesota, which is, I don't know. It just statistically, like, the math isn't mathing, and it's just dealing in bad faith. So
they would have literally been 17.5-point favorites. That is a unbelievable spread for anyone that's not like hip to gambling. And someone reached out and said, like, oh yeah, like it's impossible, like you guys getting blown out at Notre Dame this year. It's like, you know what? You got me there. If it was a 6th straight game away from home in a 12-day span with 2 starters out,
thank you.
You're right. You know what? You got me. Anything could happen. You're right. But it wasn't. Minnesota's terrible. MSU is rolling right now. Okay, 17 3 touchdowns, or no, say that's nice Spartan math right there. 2 touchdowns and a field goal in a basketball game. Like, MSU was not going to lose that game. I get anything can happen, except that. Okay, that was not going to happen. Like, let's all be adults about it. You idiots. God, right. Trying to be nice. I'm sorry, but speaking
Northern Arizona is a higher Ken Pom team than Minnesota.
Okay, like, say less. You know, like, it's the whole, like, Buffalo is better and the Brown is better. Like, the Portland is better. Like, that's not a bit. That's actual. It's unfortunately true for Minnesota this year. That's a shame. I'm rooting for their program. I mean, they got a lot going against them, but heavens to Betsy. Wow. I want to end on this, a hypothetical. This could be a very easy question to answer. It could be very tough. It could be controversial. It could not. We don't like Michigan on this show, at least. I don't know if you guys do anything different on Can't Read, Can't Write. Maybe you're very cordial to them. I may be very wrong on that. They play against Rutgers this Thursday. They did not get the double bye. Would you have Michigan State lose against Iowa in their first Big Ten tournament game if it meant that Michigan was 86th out of the tournament against Rutgers? Would you do a kamikaze mission if I gave you this offer right now? Because I think Rutgers beating Michigan would for sure seal the deal that they would not be in the NCAA tournament. And for Michigan State, all right, you just bow out your 7th seed. Do you hate Michigan that much where you would tank the Spartans against Iowa here?
Is a 6 seed on the line, Matt? I think that's an important question.
Yeah, that was going to be my question.
I think it is. I think it is, because I think if you beat Iowa and beat Purdue, obviously that's going to be a 6, maybe even a 5 seed. But
that's right.
Yeah, so you would be throwing that opportunity away. You would be.
Yeah, and that's where I am. I just don't have that much opprobrium in my heart for Michigan. Okay. Because I think they're out of the tournament anyway. So I don't know that this win is going to do much for them.
We're out of the tournament.
What is wrong with you? I have to think that.
But Alex thinks it's a 16-team field going into literally going into
if I'm being consistent. I'm being consistent. If I think we're not in the tournament, then I know Michigan's not in the tournament. You see? So I'm just being consistent.
Okay. I like that. I could talk myself either way out of this too, because I despise them. I do, and like it. The hilarity of them missing the tournament what might even mean a seed line for me. Like I don't. So I don't want to say it out loud, but it's very appealing. I think I don't take it, but like, wow, am I thinking about that for a while?
It's the shame of it, right? Like deep down, you're like, yeah, I probably would take that. Absolutely, I would take that. I want to see them wallow. I want them to know they're not the same as us. I want them to know they're not close.
Yes. And I also wanted to like laugh for 5 straight days after Selection Sunday, after them not getting their name read. But also, too, I think this is what is even deeper than those thoughts. And this is so stupid. Maybe I'm not going to convince myself on this, but like, I think I want another crack at Purdue, because obviously things didn't go right in West Lafayette. And like, if Purdue beat us by like 8 or 10 at home, like, I don't think I'd want another crack, but God, they were right there. And I would just love them not in Mackey Arena, like an impossible place to win. Like, so like, I think just having them on the table for the second round.
Yes.
They are regressing a little bit. So it's like, I want another chance at that. So that's why I'm 51% like, no, let's play Iowa. Let's beat them. And like 49% send Michigan to the guillotine at the hand of Rutgers. You talk about a team playing bad. Oh, if it's Rutgers ushering you out of your tournament dreams, like, okay, well, that's even more hilarious. So
beautiful.
It's
so beautiful.
So, No.
And Jet with 2 T's would be gone, and that'd be a real shame.
2 T's.
A real shame.
Oh, I didn't know that. They should say that more.
2 T's.
How about that? 2 T's. Gentlemen, this has been a hoot and a half. I hope this was as good for you as it was for me. Hopefully the listeners as well. I don't know if it helped anyone. This may have, again, dug a further hole of darkness, but sorry, it's March. That's just going to happen. You get what you get here with us three. So that's good luck to everyone's health the rest of the way here. But anything you guys want to shout out, anything you guys want to add before I let you enjoy the rest of the week here?
No, obviously, listen to Sheehan every day. When you have an extra 2 hours to fill, you can catch Can't Write anywhere you listen to podcasts.
The best.
But otherwise, Sheehan, you got to come on sometime again, and we look forward to it.
With a fully functioning laptop that lasts more than 1 hour, I am looking forward to joining again. Getting a little sauced up too for it, I think. And
it's the only way.
Yeah, grease the gears, wet the whistle. Yeah, absolutely. Well, gentlemen, this has been great. You guys are the best. Really, go listen to Can't Read, Can't Write. It is a 2-hour journey. It is more beautiful than any Oscar-nominated movie you'll ever watch. Just pulls at all your emotions throughout every 2 hours of every episode. So you guys are the best. Also, you, the listeners, the viewers, you guys are the best as well. Love you all. Go Green.